episode of Surviving the Survivor, we bring you the best guests in all of true crime. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. Here's your host, Emmy Award-winning broadcaster, Joel Waldman.
What's up, STS Nation? I don't know, it was funky. The outro played with the intro for a second. When it rains, it pours. We've got a verdict in the Lori Vallow Daybell trial. Space Coast is with me. Thank goodness. He is going to bring in the stream so we can watch the verdict together. And any moment, probably in a few minutes, Adam Cox, Lori's brother, was coming on either way, but it sounds like he's going to be coming on with a verdict being read. So it's an extra treat for all of you. Stand by while Space Coast and I try to figure this out. Joel, change show headlines. COE. Are you kidding me? We'll have you do that in a minute. All right. Stand by, everybody, while I figure this out. All right. This is a live look, obviously, inside the Maricopa County Courthouse in the great state of Arizona. This is day 10 of the Lori Vallow Daybell trial, and we have a verdict, apparently. And Adam Cox, Lori's brother, is set to join any moment. So this is interesting, unexpected that we would get both at the same time, but the news gods are aligning in odd ways as they always do. So we will, once I see Adam, I will bring him in, and we can probably watch the reading of the verdict together. I cannot see this going any other way than guilty, but that is me. I see Allison Pruitt saying 30 minutes. COE's racing back to home base. I actually, thanks, Lindsay. I just texted Tom and Lori. They're going to maybe join after Adam. So we will see what happens. Adam is certain to love pickleball Paul's name since Adam coaches pickleball and plays it professionally. There you go. I can see the COE, but I will not pop her on the screen because that would be bad for me. But we are going to get Adam Cox, Lori's brother, and a verdict, it seems like. Jurors deliberated per KCL less than 3 hours combined, which I believe is an accurate statement or very close to it. Yeah, Abby says she's trying to get that show name changed. COE pulled over, loaded hotspot on a laptop, doing what she's got to do. That is called Tuesday in our house. Things are whatever. It's always crazy. What can I tell you? Drinking a Coke Zero, not to be confused with regular Coke, but I needed a little caffeine hit. So here we are, almost 3 minutes to 6 on the East Coast, 3 minutes to 3 in Phoenix, Arizona, and we are getting 2 hours and 57 minutes exactly, according to Annie Oakley, in terms of deliberations. So just a smidgen under 3 hours. By the way, I recorded my read rant for the day. I don't know if I could do them every day. It seems like a lot, but I will do them fairly often. And there you go. Yeah, there we go. And look at this. I'm seeing Adam. I'm going to give him a second to just set up there. The guy is a former DJ, so I know he's going to figure out that mic that I'm watching him fiddle with right now. And then we will bring him on. So I was saying, hey, COE, can you just check on Adam for me? He's backstage. And just so you, Adam, I see you. I think you have yourself muted, Adam, I believe. But let's see if the radio DJ can figure this out.
Let's hope so.
And he did.
Let's
hope
this. So.
When it rains, it pours. Adam Cox, of course, Lori Vallow's brother, and Adam testified. We're going to get into all that. Adam, I don't even know if you know, but I think you know that they just reached a verdict. So if you're cool, yeah. Are you just hearing that now?
Yeah.
All right. Well, they did just reach a verdict. It's obviously just about 3 o'clock your time. So I'm not exactly sure when they're going to read it. And I just want to make sure you're okay, kind of sticking around with us while this is all happening. All right.
Yeah. I'm all good.
All right. Perfect. Extra treat for the women. Adam Cox is in a cutoff shirt for those who are listening on the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Adam, I got to start by asking you, man. I think it's probably been almost a year since you were on. Has your pickleball game gotten exponentially better in that time?
Yes, way better.
Really?
It's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So you're still playing pro pickleball and coaching. As your pickleball is getting better, what does that mean? Are you playing better players? Are you getting bigger prize money? What's happening?
Yeah, both. I think getting better, playing bigger tournaments, winning more tournaments. Like usually when you play at this level, you win like 1 out of like 10 tournaments. And me and my partner have won like 5 in a row. We're on a streak. So that's pretty it doesn't usually happen like that. So yeah, things have been good on the pickleball court.
Yeah, don't be immodest. Who's better, you or your partner?
He would say I was better. I'm not sure.
That's a nice way of saying
yeah,
that Adam's better. So for those who do not know, if you've been living under a rock, Adam is obviously a pro pickleball player and a coach. But besides that, he's also a father and a very cool person, and happens to be Lori Vallow Daybell's older brother. He is a former radio host turned professional, as I said, pickleball coach. One of 5 siblings. Sadly, Stacy, his sister, passed many years ago. Alex, his other brother, as we know, is deceased about 5 months after Charles Vallow. And it's Summer, Lori, and Adam. Adam, on a serious note, we are in verdict watch right now. What is this? I mean, it has to be so surreal because everyone here is kind of watching as a person interested in this case, interested in this trial. You're watching as a family member. How's it different for you?
I'm not. I don't know how people feel about it. I know how I feel about it, and other family members feel about it. But it's just been It's been over 5 years that we've been dealing with all this, so it's been a long time. So whatever the verdict is, it's obviously I think it's definitely going to be guilty. Um, but and Lori's just I don't know. Like I said, she's just not the same person that she was, and I know people don't want to hear that. They think Lori was terrible her whole life, but it's just really sad to see somebody that you used to love and have fun with and grow up with and to change so much. And so obviously when I testified, I was irritated, not wanting to even talk to her. But this, it is what it is. She's already going to serve 3 life sentences, no matter what. So no matter what, I feel like justice has already been served.
Yeah. I was going to ask you though, people that I guess aren't really like true crime devotees are saying, well, why would the state of Arizona spend money on this? But this is about justice, obviously, for Charles Vallow. I mean, you were good friends with Charles. How important is it for you, for his family, to get justice in this particular case, just in Charles' name, essentially?
Yeah, if we look at it at that aspect, it's important. Because Charles, gosh, every time I think about it, I get super sad. But yes, he deserves to get justice. And so, the court, obviously Lori's already going to spend 3 lifetime sentences in Idaho, and other people are like, why do this case? But yeah, let's, the kids were one thing, Tammy's another thing, Charles is one thing. And still the ones that that who knows if Alex and Joe were killed, and Brandon was shot at. So there's a lot of victims when you talk about the victim list.
Yeah, I mean, what does your gut tell you about Alex? I mean, there's a guy that's appeared to be in good shape. Your brother, you're in good shape, and then it's like 5 months later, and suddenly he's also cremated, which I don't think is part of the practice or ritual in your religion. Are you suspect about that?
Oh, for sure. I'm either on the case of Alex found out that Chad and Lori used him and manipulated him, and he couldn't take what he did and killed himself and took some poison. Or I think that Lori and Chad had Zulema or somebody give him poison and kill him. There's no way that I think that he died of natural causes. Too many things have happened in a row, all together. People are like, oh, it's just a coincidence. There's no coincidences with all this stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah. You testified last week. We'll get into some of the testimony. And by the way, huge shout out to Lindsay G, who is friends with Adam and a friend of mine now and helps coordinate a lot of this. It takes a huge team. But I think Lindsay told me, yeah, you were going to go like literally get off the witness stand and go teach or play pickleball. Has that become, not to harp on the pickleball stuff, but has it become kind of like a mental refuge for you where you can kind of put everything aside? I don't want to use the word distraction, but it was interesting to me that you were, that's what you were going to do. I think it's very healthy, actually, because you're not dwelling on the negative. But is it kind of been, I don't know, not a lifesaver, but some kind of safety measure for you to be able to get on that pickleball court to kind of not ruminate about all this craziness?
Oh yeah, going to the gym and going, playing pickleball. Those things to me release whatever I have built up inside of me. Both of those things are super important. I know other people go running or whatever it is to get out all the anxiety or depression or whatever it is. But yeah, pickleball has been it has been a lifesaver for me. It's been amazing. And so I work a lot. So it's not like, I'm still trying to make a living. So I kind of am forced to play pickleball because I love doing it. Just like I loved doing radio when I was doing it. So I'm fortunate to have things that I'm passionate about that I can make money at, even though I guess there are some comments on YouTube on one of these other channels that people were making fun that I was a radio DJ and a pickleball player. And they're like, don't you have a normal job? Can't you have a regular job? Like just ripping me up and down. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's the best part, is not having a normal job. But so obviously we're all, just so you all know, we're waiting for the verdict. It should be read definitely within the next half hour. Looks like Adam will be here for that. I know you're protective over your family, but Zach, your son, was kind of thrown into this. I just want to ask you, how's he holding up? Is he okay? And I didn't even know. Do you have other children? I mean,
no, just Zach. I just have Zach. And he's doing okay. This whole court thing has been super stressful for him, and so, but yeah, he's getting through it pretty good.
So just going back, because you mentioned, you said, well, almost apologizing, which you obviously don't owe an explanation to anyone, but you basically said, Lori wasn't always like this. Like she was actually, like a normal person at one point. What are some of your earliest memories of Lori? Just you and her maybe playing in the yard. When you think back to the early days, what are you imagining in your head?
In the early days, I didn't have a little brother, so Lori was next in line. So I was a sports fanatic. I played football, basketball, and baseball. So Lori would be my person that I would go throw the football to and make her run routes, shoot baskets, get my rebounds, teach her how to play basketball. A lot of those things I remember.
So, I mean, this is difficult, and you're obviously not a psychologist, and you're not responsible for her actions, but what do you think changed? What do you think went wrong? I hear a lot of people say, well, she's crazy or she has mental illness, but a lot of other people who are just saying, well, she was just trying to manipulate everyone to get money. What do you think is at sort of the center of this, at the core of this kind of crazy decline into becoming a killer?
I think there's a lot of things actually that go into this. One, I'm a believer in being balanced in life, physical, mental, and spiritual. And when you go overboard on one of those, you lose perspective. For instance, the guy that goes to the gym and he's there 8 hours every day, or the person who just reads books for 10 hours a day and sits on the couch, or Lori's case where she got really spiritual apparently and was going to the temple for 5 hours every day and constantly trying to read scriptures and do all this stuff. I think with Lori, I don't know how it all came about, but I know that she really got into wanting to be special in maybe spiritually. Like she wanted to be somebody, reading the Bible and the Book of Mormon, reading all these characters. I think she really wanted to do that. And then I think pride takes over, because if you're doing it so much, you think you're better than everybody else because you're doing it way more than everybody else. So pride sets in, and then judging people, and then wanting power, and meeting Chad. And Chad's the one that, the fiction writer that told her everything that she needed to hear at that moment, after, predicting the end of the world and just being somebody special. Where, Chad telling Lori that they were married before in another life and that he was next to God, before there's a lot of things that I think transpired into all that. And, and it just snowballed. And it just got really out of control really fast. So I'm not sure if there's one thing that changed, but there was probably a year or 2 years of leading down this road, and Chad was just the person to tip it over.
Yeah. I'm just looking at you. You're one of the nicest guys that I've had on the show. And, I think a lot of people may have just folded under these circumstances. They may have just said, look at my family. My sister did this. I've lost my brother. I lost a sister. Your relationship was strained, which I'm going to ask you about with your parents. So, outside of pickleball, what keeps you kind of level-headed? What keeps you still smiling and able to be a functioning member of society?
Really, I think it is my faith. I feel like God is he's put his arms around me and just dragged me. When I can't walk anymore, he'll just pick me up and carry me. And then all the support of our podcast, Silver Lining Podcast, we have so many optimists on there that have come on our show and told their stories. And sometimes I hear their stories and they're it's worse than my story. And that's hard to believe, but I'm like, how are you living right now? And so a lot of people's stories and have really given me strength to go forward. You got to get up every morning. And, there's mornings or days where I don't want to get out of bed. And people are like, well, it's depression. I was like, oh, I've never been depressed, so I don't know. But yeah, I think that a lot of support and knowing that there's other people out there that have gone through way worse than I have, and they're functioning. So that just gives me hope.
Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt. It's also, I think, your personality. As you said, your faith. Are you still actively involved in the church?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Nice. I mean, as much as I can get to church. Yes.
Yeah. So someone was just asking your relationship, which I wanted to ask as well. On the stand, I think you talked a little bit about how your relationship went south with your parents when you basically said, look, we need an intervention. Something's not right with Lori. You obviously knew maybe your parents were in denial, but now this many years later, what is your relationship with your mom and dad?
Yeah, that was one of the hardest parts of this whole thing, was me desperately trying to get my family to, help me get Lori help, and them all just, shutting me out, and then, picking sides and shutting me out. That was really rough, because then that was probably the loneliest I've ever felt. But I realized that they made mistakes. They they didn't understand what Lori was about or what she was doing. And so I have forgiven them. I've talked to them. I'm trying to build our relationship again back to where it was. We were a super close family before all this happened. So yeah, a lot of people are like, I could never talk to my parents again if they did what your parents did to you. And I understand that. There's people in our family that won't talk to people. And whatever people have and how they want to deal with it, that's fine. I'm just built where I have to forgive. Otherwise it's just going to eat me up. So I forgive. And I love my mom and dad in summer. So I want to have a relationship with them. And so I choose to try to work on that and do the best I can with that.
And again, we're waiting for a verdict in Lori Vallow's trial in Maricopa County. So how is your mom, on a day like today? It's got to be really difficult for her.
Yeah, it's super difficult on everybody. This whole thing has been beyond difficult, but yeah, it's definitely a rough thing for, my mom, who's lost so many kids. It's got to be devastating.
Jolie.
All right. This is a court. It looks like they're going to come back with a verdict. Adam, I just want to be 100% sure that you're okay, because I know how tough this is. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So once we see the camera pan down, I will be quiet and we'll wait for the verdict, and we'll have Adam for a little bit while longer. And then after Adam, I'm in touch with Lori Hellis, and Tom Evans, and they might pop on to give us their perspective as well. I got to ask you, I mean, I thought you did an amazing job on the stand. We watched STS Watch. You came across incredibly credible. I think you helped the government. Again, it's got to be really a mixed emotion because you're basically testifying against your flesh and blood. What was going through your mind the night before you knew you were going to take the stand?
I for some reason I had some peace come over me. I know a lot of people have been sending prayers and support and, saying, you got this, we got your back. Those kind of things all really helped me. Walking into the courtroom when I walked in was way more difficult than I thought when I first walked in. And then being on the stand and do I look at Lori? Do I not look at Lori? Do I look at the jurors? Do I not look at the jurors? I've never been a witness before. I have no idea what to do. And I put my hands, I was saying this on our podcast, I put my hands, we're together. And then like 40 minutes, I lift up my hands. There's like a puddle of sweat on the bottom of my hands. It's because it's a little intimidating, but still I wanted to make sure that, for the last 5 years, I've been saying the same exact story. And I wanted to make sure that that was conveyed to everybody.
Yeah. And this question from Nap Connoisseur, Adam, what was it like seeing Lori close up again? How do you think she looked? That had to be really like a visceral reaction for you. But what was it like to you hadn't seen her, I think you said, in 7 or 8 years, to suddenly see her there in that environment?
Yeah, it was different. She doesn't look the same physically, like her the way she looks, the way she talks, her demeanor, everything was a little bit. And then when I looked at her in the eyes, she looked away. Like she never really looked at me back when I looked at her in the eyes. So that was different.
Yeah. You just talked about forgiveness, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you think you'll ever find it in your heart to forgive Lori? You think you ever would visit her or see her, try to figure out from her why this all happened?
I'm not sure, but right now, no, but in the future, maybe. Who knows how? I got a lot of healing to do still. I thought I was healed before this trial came, and then when they said I had to testify, then the whole healing thing went out the window. It was like 3 weeks of like, oh my gosh, I was doing so good before this.
I think it's gonna be a long process. Are you, again, you don't have to answer this one, but do you get professional help? Do you talk to someone who guides you through this?
I don't. I haven't got a therapist yet. I did, there was a therapist that was on our podcast that kind of walked me through some things like in front of everybody. But yeah, I think writing the book and, doing the podcast does help me a ton. But yeah, at some point, I don't know if I trust it, but I might find somebody that I can talk to.
Yeah. So just going back to your testimony, you're the one who like really spoke up when everyone was, I think, in denial, for lack of a better term. And you said you wanted this intervention. By the way, before I forget, we'll get back to intervention in 1 second, but someone was asking about Charles' children. How many children does Charles have? And have you talked to them?
He's got 2 boys, Cole and Zach. I used to be, when they would come over, we would play and sports and hang out and stuff, but I have not talked to them at all.
Okay. So I already just forgot what I was saying. It'll come back to you. Remember what I was just asking you before I cut myself off?
Yeah, I do. But then my brain just went away too.
Someone remind me. Before taking the stand, Trina Kay, I thought, did a really good job, making the government's case. Did she speak to you? Did she kind of address your concerns as a witness and answer some of these questions that I know would, I'd be thinking of, like, do I look at the jury? Do I look at my sister? Did she kind of like assuage your concerns at all?
She was good by, asking me questions about, everything that happened. We talked about it a few times. I didn't really know. I should have asked her about what it's like to be in court and what I should be doing with. I did ask this. I said, so if Lori asked me a question, because at that point we didn't know if Lori was even going to ask me any questions. If Lori asks me a question, do I answer right away? Do I wait for you to object? Like, so, because I know there's those kinds of things, I think. So I remember asking her that, and she said, yeah, just give it a second. And if you don't hear an objection, go ahead and answer.
Okay. And are you surprised that she kind of took on this pro se defense, that she is literally defending herself? I mean, for someone who's never lawyered, could it be better? Yes, but she kind of was able to get through it. What do you think of the fact that was this an ego thing for her, a control issue? Why do you think she decided to do this?
I think of the last trial in Idaho, she didn't like that the defense attorneys were trying to harp on Chad. I remember that. That was a big thing for her. And so she probably feels like, she doesn't really have a defense anyway. So maybe this is a way for her to get maybe more attention or say the things that she wants to say where she doesn't have to worry about an attorney. I mean, it could be a very, when you think about Lori's, like, what are her motives? Gosh, there could be 100 motives, and you just don't know what's going on in that brain.
Yeah. I mean, if you go back to like when you guys are, 15 years old, like you never, ever would have seen this coming, right? Like
No.
this would be, I mean, absolutely
Not in a
stunning.
million years. No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So McRamble on here. I know there's a lot of questions around Joe Ryan's death too. Did Lori or Alex or your family ever say or do anything? This was what I was asking you about, by the way, when I lost my train of thought. Was this intervention? What was it that got you to the point? Because most people fall into denial or just say, oh, they'll snap out of it or they'll be okay. But you said no. We got to step in here. What made you take that step or want to take that step?
Well, just, listening to when Lori was in the kitchen that time, telling me that, she's turning into a translated being, and then coming across like later after that saying that Charles wasn't Charles anymore. He was Ned Schneider and some, zombies inside of his body. Just those are alarming. That kind of stuff is alarming. Like red flags, going to the temple all the time, and the way you're changing and talking and being on podcast and saying the end of the world, predicting the end of the world is going to be on this day. That's just I don't know why those red flags didn't raise to anybody else in my family, but to me it was like, she is losing it. We got to do something, especially when she's saying talking to Charles, and Charles was telling me everything, but nobody in my family would talk to Charles because Lori had cut him off. So they didn't even get to hear what Charles had to say.
Yeah.
And, Charles told me that, Lori's saying that she can murder him and she has the power to do that from God. Like, just like the craziest stuff that you hear.
Yeah. I mean, we've heard a lot about Charles, but maybe you can share something that, I don't know, that we don't know. We know he's obviously a really good baseball player, handsome guy, successful in business. What is something that maybe people don't know about Charles?
Charles had a great sense of humor. And he would send me memes all the time. Charles was a conservative from Texas. So he would send me text and memes of just all the conservative things that you can do. And he would just crack up laughing at these things. And so, those are some of the good times with Charles.
Yeah. And KCL, who's very, up to speed on a lot of these trials, particularly this one. She was asking, that body cam footage, and I know you yourself don't get into a lot of the particulars of these cases, but I don't know if you've seen the Charles Vallow body cam footage, but it was almost like not a cry for help, but he said, look, I think I'm in danger here. Do you think in retrospect, and it's easy to kind of, say things in hindsight, but do you think that the Chandler PD dropped the ball here at all, that they should have taken action sooner and quicker? Because, I mean, he literally said, my life is in danger.
I do, but I don't know what they could do. The thing we've been talking about this forever on our podcast. What are the police's responsibility? Lori took a psych valve. She passed it. What are you going to do if you tell the police that your spouse says that they can kill you if they want to? I mean, where do you go from there? What do you do? What do they do?
Yeah.
What does the law allow them to do?
For those who are just joining, it is 3:26 in Phoenix, 6:26 on the East Coast, and within the next few minutes, probably 4 or 5 minutes, we are expecting a verdict in the Lori Vallow Daybell trial, and we happen to be joined by Lori's brother, who agreed to come on yesterday, and it didn't work out timing-wise, but we are very glad and thankful to have him today live for this verdict, which again should come down any moment now. So, Adam, one of the things that I think people, will take away kind of in a lighthearted, funny way from this trial, not that there's a lot of that to go around, but Lori was kind of grilling you about not remembering her green chili enchiladas. Is that something that she used to make? And it sounds like she was upset that you did not remember that.
Well, what's weird about that is my brother-in-law, Summer's husband, Jeff, he makes the best green chili enchiladas. So when you talk, and so when Lori's like, we've had them every time for the last 10 years, I was like, I don't remember you ever making them. I remember Jeff making them and eating them, Jeff's, but maybe she made them and I ate them, but I literally, honestly do not remember her making it. But if she did, I guess they weren't that memorable.
Yeah. By the way, the jury deliberated for just under 3 hours, 2 hours and 57 minutes, which usually indicates a guilty verdict, but obviously we're going to find out. I have to ask you, what do you think of this this judge who we're about to see, Adam? He had the patience of a saint, especially with Lori, and it's a very difficult thing to be a judge for because you have to protect the legal record, and so he had to be kind of extra careful. And probably extra patient. You saw him up close. He seems like a stand-up guy. What was your impression of him?
Yeah, I think he did a great job. I didn't watch the trial, but just when I was there, he offered me a water. That was amazing. But he seemed to be very calm and has to deal with a lot. And he has to make sure that this doesn't become a mistrial because Lori's never been a lawyer before. So there's probably a lot of things that he had to deal with that he usually probably doesn't have to deal with on a regular basis, especially, in this high profile case.
I'm finding out that Colby, Lori's son, is not there, that he's actually streaming it himself. But he was in court. Did you happen to it's kind of an odd place for a family reunion, Adam, but did you get to see some family members and talk to them, Colby in particular? If so, how were they kind of holding up throughout all this?
Yeah, I saw Colby at court. We didn't get a chance to talk. They put me into a witness room. He just walked in the court real quick. But afterwards, he left me a nice message, and then we texted back and forth. So, he suffered so much in all this as well. So, I just hope that he can continue to go forward with his life and do the things that he wants to do.
Do you feel like you're going to stay in touch with him? Like you want to stay in touch with him?
I definitely want to stay in touch with him. This whole thing has split our family a lot in different ways. And me and Colby were super close. I basically was his father figure a lot of the times growing up. I have nothing but love for him, and this is just such a hard time for him. But yes, I would love to have a relationship. I don't know if we can go back to what we used to be, but at least move on and try to have some kind of relationship again.
Yeah. How often, like, will you sit? And I don't know if your mind takes you there, but will you sit and think about JJ and Ty Lee? Will they cross your minds? And when you do,
yeah, just randomly, I'll be driving to work and just think about something funny Ty Lee sent me or said to me, and JJ just cracking me up with and my son Zach spent a lot of time with JJ. My mom, for my birthday, she gave me this picture of me kissing Ty Lee in the kitchen a long time ago. And so I was appreciative of my mom giving me that picture, because I used to kiss Ty Lee's cheeks and she'd go, "Bubby," and I was like, "Oh, you want me to take it off?" And she's like, Yes, take it off. So I kiss her again and take it off.
Uh,
Kiss the cheeks double. But
by the way, yeah, for
yeah.
anyone under the age of 35, that was a actual photograph. They didn't all used to be on cell phones. At
Right.
some point.
That's a good point, Joel.
Yeah. How about good old Grunkle Rex? He's been on the show, and I know he was. I saw him the minute you were done with your testimony. I saw him walk to you. There was kind of a quick shot on camera, not a very wide shot, but he's been kind of your older brother, I think, and very protective of you. What was his response to your testimony and just through this process in this trial?
Yeah, he's been a great support for me. He came and picked me up at my house, took me to the court, went with me in the witness room, waited for me when I got off, took me back home so I could go back to work. But overall, like he's been a rock for me, someone to lean on, someone to talk to, someone to needed the support from him. So, we've done this podcast together now for a year and a half, which has helped us grow even closer together. But yeah, it's meant a lot to me to have him in my life, with the way that things went on with my family. And yeah, he's been so awesome for me.
Yeah. Just going back to that comment, that Lori made that you testified about in court, that she was kind of translated into this celestial being. That is definitely something, if I have a sister, if she said that to me, I would be asking follow-up questions for sure. But how did you know that it was more than just, I guess, talk? Was it the way she said it? I mean, did she just seem completely different to you at that point? Because people say things, and again, most people's, I think, instinct is to just sort of blow things off because it's easier to do that. But what made you, when she said that she was quote unquote translated, what made you really stop at that moment?
Well, again, she was at this point, she had already tried to say that she was predicting when the end of the world was coming and when Jesus was coming back. And she'd said before all this, she'd been, saying stuff like that. And then when she said that, for me to say, well, what you're saying isn't true. I don't know if she said, you think I'm crazy? I said, I don't know if you're crazy, but I don't know what you're telling me is not true. Then at that point, she stopped talking. So at that point, I didn't know exactly, if she just wanted attention, that she was better than everybody else because she could predict the future and she was turning into a translated being and she wanted all of us to go, oh my gosh, Lori, you're this amazing person. I don't know if that was it. I didn't really know where this was all leading to. I just knew that it was like, there's something wrong, but I didn't know how wrong it was or how wrong it would even get, a year or 2 years later.
Yeah. And you obviously testified to this also, but you were supposed to connect with your brother Alex, and then to use the kid's word today, he ghosted you. So when that happened, when you land in Phoenix, I mean, were you sure that something was kind of going down?
I didn't know if anything was going down. I just thought it was very odd. Like I was like, "Where's Alex? And why isn't he calling me back?" I had no idea that my family was talking to Lori behind my back. I had no clue.
Mm.
And orchestrating this whole thing. So, and I kept on saying to my mom, I was like, it's weird that Alex hasn't called me back. He knew I was coming here to spend the night with him, blah, blah. And she was blowing the whole thing off. Everybody was just blowing it off. I had no idea that they were talking to Lori and asking Lori what to do and all that.
All right. Here's Judge Boreski. Let's listen in. This is on a 5-minute delay, by the way.
Given that, are there any additions or corrections? Are either
The parties are present. The jury's not present. We were informed about 45 minutes ago that the jury has reached a verdict. In the event that the verdict is not guilty, this trial will conclude. In the event that there's a guilty verdict, we need to move on to an aggravation phase immediately after the reading of that verdict. I've given the parties proposed aggravating circumstances, instructions, and proposed verdict form. The state and the defense both have a chance to review those.
Yes.
COE, I'm hearing this in my headset and on the,
Yeah, Your
I'm
Honor.
not sure what's happening, but
The defense did email my staff requesting an additional
In addition, the jury would still need to find that if it's a guilty verdict, whether or not it's a dangerous offense, until it's found as a dangerous offense.
the judge obviously just giving directions right now to the defense and the state.
So, would you plan on presenting testimony or evidence?
Space, it's fine as long as we're getting it one way or the other.
You could stipulate to aggravation and you could stipulate to whether or not it's a dangerous offense, but I think you should probably wait until we read the verdict to do that. So I guess it will, depending on what the verdict is, we may take another break. If there is an aggravation phase, are your witnesses here yet?
They're next to dinner, from my understanding, about 5 minutes out.
All right, we'll wait a few more minutes before we take that verdict. Please let me know when we're ready to come out.
All right. Keep in mind, again, this is on a 5-minute delay. Space, again, it doesn't matter to me, but I'm hearing it through my headset, but I'm also hearing it through my laptop. So,
Hey, Joel, just want to let you know some of the stuff that we're hearing right now, it's very low and it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be on the record, I believe. It'll
okay.
be when they move off the seal. That's when we're supposed to be able to hear and see it. So we're just
Okay.
standing. Okay, great.
Okay.
Thanks. And
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah. Dr. Von Decay here. Prayers for Adam. We have Fairy Glam psychologist, Adam. She is a psychologist, and she was asking, and I asked you this too. Right now, we're just a little bit from the moment of truth here. Is it nerve-wracking, or is it just, do you get comfort? Maybe comfort's not the right word, but you know that Lori's not going anywhere. So does that, I guess, take some of the pressure off maybe?
Yes.
But, but what's this like for you?
Yeah, there's no pressure. We already know what we all know. Lori's guilty. So no matter what, it comes back. We all know that she's going to be in prison the rest of her life, and she's guilty. So that takes all the pressure off.
Okay. One of the questions that everyone was asking is, what, if and when did you know that Lori and Chad considered you and Zach, quote unquote, dark, and that has to be a frightening revelation.
Well, I didn't know Zach was on the list until like a couple of days ago. He was, I guess, 24th on the list, the last one on the list, apparently. I didn't realize that they were going to kill me until I saw Colby's Netflix special. That was the first I ever heard of it. Saw the text that Lori was convincing Alex that I was a zombie and I needed to be gone or whatever it was.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be thankful, obviously, that you're still here. I mean, do you think that I guess if action wasn't taken in one way or another, if she wasn't, ultimately arrested, do you think you were on borrowed time?
I guess I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know that Alex took a screenshot of my flight reservation going back to Wichita that next day after he killed Charles. Like, I didn't know any of this stuff, but that night I remember we stayed at Summer's house because she was gone, and we got in a fight with my mom and dad, and we left their house and went to Summer's, and Summer was gone. It was just us there, and I didn't know if Alex was going to come into the house and try to kill us, because I knew that Alex was there and him and Lori conspired to kill Charles. To me, all the red flags were there. And so we stayed up, me and Zach stayed up pretty much all night looking out windows and just looking. So
All right. It looks like now they're coming back in. Little Bunny Susu. This is for Adam. It's great to see you, Adam. I love that you're enjoying pickleball so much. What a fun profession. Silver Linings is a great podcast anywhere you find podcasts. Pickleball, man. It is helping save lives.
it is.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, who did know? I know you weren't watching the trial after you testified. I think it was right before you testified, though. Did you know, or do you know Nancy Jo Hancock? She kind of stole the show for a little bit of time. She testified and had gone out on a date with Charles the night before he died. Do you know her? Did you happen to catch any of the testimony?
People had said stuff to me. Yes, I think at one point I was on a Mormon dating app, and she sent me a message saying that she thought I was a catfish or something. That my picture, you know whose picture this is. This is Lori Vallow's brother, and I was like, oh yeah, no, that's me. And she was like, oh my gosh. And then she said that she had gone out with Charles on a date, and then a couple of weeks before the trial, I was coaching pickleball, and she walked by and she goes, "You don't know who I am, do you?" And I was like, "No." She goes, "Oh, I'm, we talked on the dating app when I told you this, and went out with Charles." I was like, "Oh yeah." So, and she said that she was going to be testifying too, and it was just one of those crazy things.
If anyone knows a nice Mormon woman, and I will be the decider of that, you email me, survivingthesurvivor@gmail.com. And she's got to be able to play pickleball. Or
no, you don't have to be Mormon, and you don't have to play pickleball. No, but you do have to deal with a lot of baggage. That's the problem. Please, nobody wants to deal with this baggage. I can tell you that.
STS singles. I don't know. I don't know if you're right about that. So yeah, her testimony was interesting, and Lori says to her, "Were you guys just talking about me all night?" And she delivered a now infamous, famous line. She said, "Don't flatter yourself, Lori." How do you think Lori took that?
I don't know. I think it surprised her that Charles was going on a date or was looking to date other people. I think that threw her for a loop, which, I told Charles, months before all this, I was like, look, because Charles was trying to get a divorce from her and sending her papers, and Lori disappeared, and he couldn't find her to give her divorce papers. And I was like, dude, you just gotta, you don't want to deal with this. You just got to move on. So yeah.
Yeah. While she was in the process of defending herself, she kept saying, referencing Charles, she kept saying, my husband, my husband. She may have said it when you were on the stand. Did that catch you off guard? It came across a little, eerie maybe.
Yeah, because isn't she married to Chad? Isn't Chad her husband?
Yeah. I mean, apparently, yeah.
And did she say, I don't remember, somebody said that she said that I was her estranged brother, but I didn't hear that. Was it during when I was on there, or she was talking later after that? Do you know anything about that?
I do not remember that, but please, the fact that you acknowledge his baggage makes Adam an extra awesome catch. Look at that, Robin Hood.
Oh my gosh. You do not want to deal with his baggage.
But yeah, let me know, STS, if you know if Lori referred to Adam as her estranged brother. Please let me know. Please let me know. Look at this. They're lining up. I can deal with baggage. I'll email you my picture and info. I just opened up a Pandora's box. So obviously the other person besides you and Nancy Jo, Kay Woodcock, got up there, and she kind of looked like she was ready to throw down, with Lori, and wasn't taking any of her, what. Have you been talking to Kay? What do you think of her ability to get up there? Obviously, she is Charles' sister.
Yeah, Kay has a lot to say. She was involved in all of it, so I think she did great. Standing up and saying what she wanted to say to Lori. I thought she did a great job with that.
Yeah. Again, we are joined by Lori Vallow's brother, Adam. We are on a 5-minute delay with this verdict that's going to come down any moment. Adam's going to watch it with us, and then he's got to go play pickleball. But if you guys have questions, I have a few more. But if you guys have questions, put in the triple Q caps, and I will scroll down to the end and try to get Adam your questions. She asked, okay, here's from Abby to your question. She asked Detective Duncan if you asked any of her family members besides my estranged brother what those texts meant. So what do you take away from that, Adam? I mean,
obviously, I think she discounted me as soon as we were in the kitchen, and I didn't believe her story. That was the end of, I guess, our relationship. For anybody that didn't believe anything that she said, you get cast out or blocked or don't talk to them, kind of thing. So it doesn't surprise me that she would say something like that.
Julie Frew letting us know Lori's not going to present evidence for aggravating factors. Then you've got a comment from CJ. Is Kay the eldest Vallow? She had such big sis vibes. Is she the oldest sibling?
I don't know the level I don't know if she's the oldest or the middle or I really don't know. That's a good question.
There you go. We're gonna have to find out. I'm from Europe. Adam, only you can answer this. What is pickleball? How do you define pickleball?
It's one of the greatest sports in the world. I played basketball for so many years. And then, when COVID hit, I picked up pickleball and it was amazing. It's a mix between ping pong and tennis is what people describe it as.
Yeah. Here in Miami, Adam, they're now playing padel. Have you played padel? Yeah. It's like tennis and racquetball. You can hit off the back walls. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I have. I heard that's super popular now too.
Yeah, it's addictive. Let's see here. What famous dish is Adam known for making himself? We talked about the green chili enchiladas. I think that's why this question is here. Are you a cook, Adam?
Yes, I love to cook. I got a good potato salad that I like to make. I make this cheese and broccoli casserole thing that's good. My rice, crock pot rice. There's a few that I like.
You're talking about baggage, but I guess on a serious note, I think people, because in this job, I've talked to people who are related to people who've been convicted, and they always feel like they're kind of somewhat responsible. Do you hold any of that? Like, do you feel a need to, I don't know, apologize to people for who your sister is, or do you realize that she's just a completely different person from you? You're an individual, she's an individual, and you have nothing to do with her.
I think a little bit of both. I think there's some times where you'll be somewhere and somebody was like, "Oh, you know who that is? That's Lori's Vallow's brother," and you want to apologize. You want to say, and I know I get judged. It's just part of the thing. You can't pick who your brothers or sisters or parents are if they do something crazy. But I've been used to, I've been on the radio for so many years. I know what it's like to be judged. That's why I'm opposite of judging. I will never judge anybody. I'm just gonna let them do what they want to do. Let things happen. So, yes, I do try to apologize sometimes, but other times I'm like, what am I gonna do? It wasn't me. I wasn't part of it. So, but yeah.
Here's another one. Adam is very handsome. Don't worry, I'm not going to get a complex today. I will. I'm going to go home and make.
Joel, you are very handsome. You are a handsome man.
Thank you, Adam. Back to Trina K for a minute. She had a tough job. She had to lay the entire case out, and she had to do it with Lori opposing her. So it's literally all the pressure on her. She can't make any mistakes. She's also got to balance it, I think, so she doesn't turn off the jurors. We're obviously still waiting for the verdict, so we don't know 1,000% how this went, but I've got a pretty good idea that it is going to be a guilty verdict. But what about the job she did? And I know you didn't watch all the trial, but at least when you were up there, what was your, I guess, train of thought on her ability to do her job in this kind of difficult situation?
Yeah, I think she did a great job of putting the pieces together, putting the puzzle together, letting the jury understand it wasn't just about money. There's several factors involved, and she let all the factors that were involved let them see all the angles of it. And she was calm, and she, presented the facts and all. I thought she did a great job.
Yeah. Kimberly Fine here. Adam, why do you think she asked who initiated the going no contact if she's the one who basically did it because of your lack of agreement and compliance with her beliefs? Any thoughts on this?
When Lori asked me on the stand,
Yeah, I think so.
what did she? She was saying, "Did I call you or did you call me?" Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't. I
believe
didn't. How would I know? Like, how would I remember that far back?
Mm.
Like, yeah, I don't
Yep.
know why I don't know what Lori's purpose was of any of the questions that she asked. Really, she has no defense.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We're back on the record. We're going to listen in now.
Okay.
Judge Justin Borusky.
I'm gonna have my staff go ahead and line up the jury to wait in the hallway for a minute.
Adam, you're hearing this okay?
No, it's low.
Okay.
And I don't see the judge. I just see a
The
okay.
seal. I think hopefully it will resolve itself. We are at the mercy of the pool camera here. But again, Space, just so you know, I'm hearing this through the laptop and not my headset, which is, I don't know why that's going on, but it is. But he did just say that they're back on the record. Shaw Love here saying she's guilty of sin. The door is swinging open. Okay, now it's coming through my headset.
Yeah, I
There
got
we
it
go.
now.
Okay.
All right, back on the record, State of Arizona versus Lori Daybell, CR 2021-001-704. The parties are present. I'm going to have my staff go ahead and line up the jury to wait in the hallway for a minute.
Space, I think you were right. I think I did have a second tab, so thank you for that. Space is always right about this stuff. Adam, before the verdict, hey, COE.
Hey, just want to remind everyone in chat that we have not seen the verdict streamed yet. I know different streams run at different speeds, so please no spoilers in the chat. If you have already seen the verdict, because the stream is delayed by a few minutes, please give us a few minutes to react organically. Thank you.
Thank you. The name of Adam's podcast, Silver Linings Podcast. You can find it, I think, on YouTube and anywhere you listen to podcasts, right, Adam?
I think so. Uncle Rex has all that down.
Got to reach out to Uncle Rex. I'm just looking to see if there are any additional questions for Adam. But I have one. What are you hoping that not only the jury but the public sort of understands about leaving Lori out of it for the moment? What do you think that the public? What do you hope that they understand about your family, Adam?
Our family was this whole thing happened because of miscommunication. It happened because of lack of responsibility as family members. And like my biggest thing that I'm pushing on our podcast is families need to talk to each other and communicate to each other. Especially if something doesn't seem right or somebody's blaming or somebody's calling somebody out, bring everybody together and let's talk it out and find out what's actually happening. So our families, hopefully the family of people will be like, well, we need to do something because we don't want things to turn out like what happened to their family. But our family's loving, and we've been through a ton. We've been through a lot. Not every family is perfect. Obviously ours is not perfect. But we're going to try to do the best that we can going forward. And, who knows what that's going to look like.
And I know I asked you about a therapist, which is nosy, but what about someone? I mean, do you speak to people inside the church? They're, like a priest or a father within the church who guides you at all?
I haven't got to that point yet where I want to sit down and, go through everything again. And maybe one day I will. I'm sure that it's available if I want it. I just haven't taken advantage of that or wanted to take advantage of that yet.
We are still awaiting this verdict. There is the shot. It is seemingly taking a long time, but we're going to get there. One of the people that a lot of people are asking questions about, and I don't want to add to your list of stress here, but it would be she's known as Melanie, of course, Brandon Boudreaux's ex-wife. There's people who think that maybe she knew more. What you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, there's possibilities that she knew more. And if you're in her situation, and you got duped by Lori and Chad, and you now realize that all that was a fiction, was just nuts, then you probably feel like an idiot and trying to get away from it all and be like, oh, I didn't know about this. I didn't know about that. That could be what happened. Who knows what she knew? I have no idea. To be honest with you, I have no idea what she knew, how far she, but it seemed like, she was in that group. So not sure exactly what she knew. And I don't know if we'll ever know. I don't know if she would ever tell anybody.
Yeah. From Ida Shaw here, how does Adam feel about Chandler PD not arresting Alex on July 11th? They could have prevented the kid's demise, in my honest opinion. I don't know about that, but what do you think, Adam? Again, I asked you a little bit about Chandler PD, but on that day, should they have taken the case more seriously?
Yeah, I think so. I think it should have been investigated way more than it was. And I think they know they made a lot of mistakes in this case. Hopefully that this case will be one that they won't make the same mistakes if something else similar happens like this. But yeah, there's a lot of mistakes made. And if they could have found that, Alex had that second shot, or there was a second bullet that went in while he was laying dead, or like he was laying on the ground, those kinds of things, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, to answer your question, yes, I think they could have done a way better job, and possibly could have prevented, if Alex was in jail, who knows what Lori and Chad would have done without Alex.
Yeah. From Robin Ray, I only want to hear the verdict with the survivor family just got out of the hospital. I hope it wasn't for you, Robin, because speaking of having a hard time, she lost her husband not that long ago.
Oh no.
And it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Robin.
Happy birthday, Robin.
Yeah, let me know. I'm sorry to hear that. So we're not done yet either. Brandon Boudreaux's trial is coming right up. Have you been subpoenaed for that?
No, and I don't know if I would. I don't know what I would be able to say about it. The only thing that, Brandon, apparently I was one of the first person that he called after Alex took a shot at him, and he was in panic, and
pursuant to the jury's verdict of guilt, that this would be a dangerous offense because a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument was used.
I'm stipulating to it.
You agree that that's that this is a dangerous offense?
Correct.
And you're further stipulating that as a result of your conduct, at least the victim or the victim's family suffered emotional or financial harm?
Absolutely.
And you're also further agreeing that the offense involved the presence of an accomplice?
Yes.
Is the state satisfied with the colloquy?
Yes, Your Honor, it appears it's knowing voluntary. Made.
All right, the court does find that the stipulation to those three factors was knowingly, intelligently, voluntarily made. I will accept the defendant's stipulation. At this time, I'm going to bring in the jury and release them from the admonition. Before we do that, well, as my staff's lining up the jury, do you want to have a sentencing date within approximately 30 days, or do you want to wait until after the next trial to be sentenced on this matter?
What does the court prefer?
It doesn't matter to me. Maybe you want to talk to your attorneys or
just to let
advisory
everybody
counsel
know, there was an issue
about that.
with Pool Cam. We don't take it off of other streams.
You don't have to do it right now.
The verdict was read guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. We're going to try to rewind this. This is live now. This is not on the delay. So Adam, I apologize. It's kind of out of our hands, but I apologize anyway.
No problem.
There is no rewind. The stream froze, but obviously we're hearing guilty. Guilty again. Your reaction?
No surprise. We all know that, she's guilty. She has no defense of it. So it's just, now it's Brandon's turn to get his justice, and then she'll be in jail the rest of her life. And then we'll just see how it goes after that. But it's just, after the Idaho trials, I knew she was guilty of that too. So there's no surprises. Obviously it is what it is. It's hard to figure out.
Yeah. Look, I'm seeing a lot of comments in the chat. COE, hop in, please.
Hi, everyone. First of all, Adam, thank you so much for spending your time and being here with all of us. There was apparently some kind of freezing issue on Court TV, which is the pool camera. So we apologize for not being able to get that live, but it was sort of out of our hands. We appreciate all of your perspective and your time. And if you want, we can pull it up for you and we can re-air it here so we can watch it.
Yes.
Whatever you feel most comfortable.
Let's just watch it real quick. Let's watch the reading of the verdict real quick.
Okay, just give us a minute or two, and we apologize, everyone. And again, thank you so much, Adam, for being here.
No problem.
We'll cue it up.
And I just want everyone to know we do our very best to only use the pool camera because that is the way it is supposed to be. And the pool camera had some sort of freezing issues. So apparently some other people had it, and we will get it back here and try to play the actual verdict for you. But so Adam, while we're waiting for this, which hopefully will be just a moment or two, how do what's next for you?
That's a good question. We're just, I'm just living my life, going to work every day, doing the podcast, talking, trying to work things out with my family. It's a long road ahead, I think, but just trying to live day by day. I don't know what the future is going to hold.
And your parents, Janice and Barry, they're in, are they in Mesa? Are they near you?
Yes, they are.
So are you at a place with them where you can kind of stop by and say hello, or is it,
Yep.
You are.
Yep.
Okay,
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I definitely think your parents are going to need the support. I think your mother's going to need the support, and I think I'm going to need the support if we don't get this verdict read here. So we're going to give it another minute or two, and then I'm going to have to let Adam go. Are you teaching today? How many days do you teach, and then how many days are you actually playing tournaments?
It just depends. Usually 5 to 6 days a week teaching, and then sometimes I'll play tournaments, 1 or 2 days a week, depending on what tournaments are there. So it's a lot of pickleball for sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I played tennis growing up, but pickleball is a very difficult transition because of that kitchen.
Yes.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah, the kitchen is the tennis breaker.
All right. So we are replaying now the reading of the verdict with Adam here. Everyone stand by, and apologies again for the confusion here. Lindsay, ever the human that makes everyone comfortable, telling everyone deep breaths, and we will get through this together. That is for sure. And from Jury Duty podcast, Adam, you've got two new little sisters. Lindsay and I promise to annoy you and all
Yes.
lives and
I
portals,
love Lindsay and Kimberly. They're great.
yeah.
The parties are present. The jury's not present. We were informed about 45 minutes ago that the jury's reached a verdict. In the event that the verdict is not guilty, this trial will conclude. In the event that there's a guilty verdict, we need to move on to an aggravation phase immediately after the reading of that verdict. I've given the parties proposed aggravating circumstances, instructions, and proposed verdict form. The state and the defense both have a chance to review those.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are there any additions or corrections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
How about from the defense? The defense did email my staff requesting an additional paragraph. The defendant is not required to testify or produce evidence of any kind. The defendant's decision not to testify or produce evidence is not evidence of any aggravating factor, which I did include in the bottom third of page 3. Given that, are there any additions or corrections?
No, Your Honor.
Are either the state or the defense requesting any other additional instructions?
No, Your Honor.
If there's an aggravation phase, does the state plan on introducing any testimony or exhibits?
Testimony, I believe, likely from 2 family members, we will limit it. I don't plan on doing openings, just presenting testimony and then argument.
All right. Would the defense anticipate presenting any evidence?
Your Honor, can we just stipulate to that? I mean, the statute says there's only one punishment for this crime. What is this? Why is there an aggravation phase for this specific count?
Much like the guilty verdict, the jury in Arizona has to find whether or not there's any aggravating circumstances. In addition, the jury would still need to find that if it's a guilty verdict, whether or not it's a dangerous offense. Until it's found as a dangerous offense, that sentence that you're talking about wouldn't be triggered. So I think we need to have an aggravation phase regardless. So would you plan on presenting any testimony or evidence in the aggravation phase if there is an aggravation phase?
No, but could I just stipulate to it or not? That's my question.
You can stipulate to aggravation and you can stipulate to whether or not it's a dangerous offense, but I think you should probably wait until we read the verdict to do that. So I guess it will, depending on what the verdict is, we may take another break. If there is an aggravation phase, are your witnesses here yet?
No, they are not here yet, Your Honor. The next of kin are, from my understanding, about 5 minutes out.
All right, we'll wait a few more minutes before we take that verdict. Please let me know when we're ready to come out.
Yes, thank you.
All right. I'm going to try to cue this ahead. This is taken place already, so we're going to just try to shuttle ahead here real quick, and maybe not. Yeah, we are. Hang on. I can see it backstage. So everyone stand by for a moment. And we will see. It's interesting. She just had a much different tone with the judge, Adam, about that. Is there a, sometimes she uses what people refer to as kind of the baby voice, but do you know her more with this kind of tone where she was standing up to the judge, or a quieter tone?
More like that.
Yeah. All right, here's the judge.
All right, back on the record, State of Arizona versus Lori Daybell, CR 2021-001-704. The parties are present. I'm going to have my staff go ahead and line up the jury to wait in the hallway for a minute.
There's Kay Woodcock.
Oh, I didn't even think to check.
By the way, while we're waiting right now, believe it or not, we're going to do not a full length show, but we're going to get, and by that, I mean probably just an hour, but we're going to get Tim and Joe, and maybe someone else will join, I believe at 7:30, which is in 19 minutes, to discuss the latest with Donna Adelson. She is making a play. Her defense is to rid herself of Judge Stephen Everett. I don't think it's going to work, but as a result, they want to delay the trial. And Tim and Joe will explain what's really going on. This is the jury now coming in. Obviously, this is on a delay. We know the answer, but we're going to watch this, or we know the result, but we're going to watch this now with Adam, and then we will let him go and play pickleball after this.
You're funny, Joe.
All right, the jury is present. Please be seated. Do we have a foreperson? Who's the foreperson?
Yes,
Has the jury reached a verdict?
yes, we have.
I'm going to ask you to hand that to my courtroom assistant.
And by the way, for everybody whining in the chat, just keep in mind that you've got a person here whose sister is convicted again for murder.
ask
They're bigger things here.
In the Superior Court of the State of Arizona and in for the County of Maricopa, State of Arizona versus Lori Daybell, CR 2021-001704-001, verdict count 1. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above entitled action, upon our oaths, do find the defendant, Lori Daybell, as to the crime of count 1, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder occurring on or about July 11, 2019, guilty. Signed, foreperson. Is this your true verdict? So say you one and all.
Yes.
On the court's own motion, I'll go ahead and ask the clerk to poll the jury.
Juror number 1, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 2, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 6, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 7, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 8, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 9, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 10, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 11, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 12, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 13, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 15, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 16, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to ask the jury to retire to the jury room for just about 2 minutes. I need to discuss something with the parties before we determine whether you're done or not. So the admonition still applies. Please go to the jury room for a few minutes.
All right, to the jury.
There you have it. The official guilty verdict. We found out about this a little while ago. Adam, you know, it's, I guess, one thing to hear it, another thing to see it. It looked like Lori was looking straight ahead at the judge, but then when they polled the jurors, she looked over. What do you think is going on?
The jury is no longer present.
Let's just listen to this for a moment.
I'll ask the defendant, you indicated earlier perhaps a willingness to stipulate to aggravating factors. Is that something you want to do, or do we want to go through this aggravation phase?
I'm willing to stipulate to it, Your Honor. All that it is the dangerous phase. Is that correct? There's only one statute there's only one sentence.
Well, the jury would need to find, first of all, whether or not this is a dangerous offense first. Secondly, whether the offense caused physical, emotional, or financial harm to the victim, or if the victim died as a result of the conduct of the defendant caused emotional or financial harm to the victim's immediate family. And then thirdly, the offense involved the presence of an accomplice. If you're willing to stipulate to all three of those, we can do that. If not, we'll bring the jury back in.
I will stipulate to it, Your Honor.
All right. You understand that if you stipulate to this instead of a jury finding, well, let me back up. You understand the jury would have to find these aggravating factors beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
All right. And do you understand that if you stipulate to these factors instead of a jury doing it, I could also find additional aggravating factors at sentencing?
Sure.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you in any way to get you to stipulate to these factors?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything to get you to stipulate to these factors?
No.
Have you had any drugs, alcohol, or medication in the last 24 hours?
No.
Do you agree that pursuant to the jury's verdict of guilt, that this would be a dangerous offense because a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument was used?
I'm stipulating to it.
You agree that that this is a dangerous offense?
Correct.
And you're further stipulating that as a result of your conduct, at least the victim or the victim's family suffered emotional or financial harm?
Absolutely.
And you're also further agreeing that the offense involved the presence of an accomplice?
Yes.
Is the state satisfied with the colloquy?
Yes, Your Honor, it appears it's knowing voluntary. Made.
All right, the court does find that the stipulation to those three factors was knowingly, intelligently, voluntarily made. I will accept the defendant's stipulation. At this time, I'm going to bring in the jury and release them from the admonition. Before we do that, well, as my staff's lining up the jury, do you want to have a sentencing date within approximately 30 days, or do you want to wait until after the next trial to be sentenced on this matter?
What does the court prefer?
It doesn't matter to me. Maybe you want to talk to your attorneys or advisory council about that. We don't have to do it right now. You can do it in a few minutes.
There you go. The seal. I'm just communicating with Lori Hellis and Tom. We're sticking around, and I really appreciate it. We've got the best guests in all of true crime. But you just saw the reading of the verdict. That part, the way it played out, a little anticlimactic, but keeping things in perspective. We had Adam here, obviously, and Adam is a person that a lot of people wanted to hear from. I'm watching space behind the scenes.
The jury is present again. Members of the jury, you are now released from the admonition. This concludes your jury service. I want to thank you for your jury service in this matter and your attention in this matter. The admonition is lifted, meaning you can talk to anyone about any aspect of this case that you want to at this point, but you also have the right to not talk to anyone about any aspect about this case. I just need to take care of a few more matters, but if you want to wait for me in the jury room, I'd like to thank you personally, and then you can be on your way. If you don't want to wait for me, that's fine as well, but you are released to go at this time. All right, thank you.
All rest of the jury.
I think we can pull this down now, guys, and just because I know Adam has to get cracking here. Adam, someone just asked, is Adam okay? Amy in New Jersey. I hope Adam's okay, so I got to ask you, are you okay, Adam?
Yeah, I am. I'm okay. Obviously it's, I'm trying to figure out if she really thought that she was going to, get off. If she really thought that they were going to come back with a not guilty verdict, that she was disappointed that they But then again, she didn't put a defense up because she doesn't have one. So it's so weird to try to find out why all the different things that goes on in Lori's head and what she's thinking and what she's doing and why she's representing herself and all those things are just, are always going to be a mystery.
Yeah. I think they're also setting up for some kind of possible news conference, but I do want to thank Adam so much. I mean, from the bottom of my heart for coming on. He is literally Lori's brother, going through this in real time with us. So, and Adam, I was going to actually, what you just kind of brought up, I was going to ask you, which is, what do you think was going on in her mind? Is it just too unpredictable right now? I think.
Yeah,
I mean, to try
we
to
just
gauge
can't
that.
figure any of that out. What she's thinking, why she thinks the way she does, why she does the things she does. Like I can't get a grasp on it, and I don't know if we're ever going to know. That's the problem because I would like to know. I'd like to, get inside her brain, but who knows if what she tells you is going to be the truth anyways. So it just seems like it's a no-win situation with this.
Yeah, I just want to say publicly, Space Coast, the COE, do an unbelievable job. Please do not take it out on them. I'd be nothing without them, without Steve Cohen, who books the best guests and our mods. And I will take Adam Cox any day over a 5-minute delayed verdict that we had delayed 10 or 15 minutes. So if you guys are going to flip out about that, maybe you're on the wrong channel, but STS is a big family. I look forward one day to meeting Adam. Adam, I'm wishing you only the best in everything that you do. I'm hoping at some point, maybe even Lori comes around to understand what she has done, and maybe can understand that it was, terrible, and find forgiveness with a higher power. But that is going to be between she and God. So thank you so much. If there's anything that we can do here, I'm always text, phone call away. Lindsay is obviously, she connects us, but I guarantee you when I'm in Phoenix, the next time I'll look you up and
Yeah,
I'll have you crush me in pickleball.
let's do it. Joe, it's always a pleasure being on the show with you. Good luck. And yeah, let me know if I can help any other ways.
Yeah, you're a good man. I'm going to find you a good woman.
Okay, you do
All
that.
right.
All right,
All
man.
right.
Talk to you later.
Take care, man. Have a good
Bye.
night. That is Adam Cox, who is obviously dealing with a very difficult day. Ida Shaw here. If the press conference is going to happen momentarily, maybe we stick around and take it. I'm just trying to juggle Tom and Lori. I think we're good, everyone. We're going to actually do a Donna Adelson show coming up. It's slated for 8, but I asked Steve to see if he can get the guests a little bit earlier. Going to be a much less formal show tonight on that. We're just going to kind of go over what's happening, take your questions, and then call it an evening. But thank you all for being here. This is a historic day. Lori Vallow's brother on STS, the day that she's convicted for a second time, this time conspiracy to commit murder in the death of Charles Vallow. And of course, it is all about justice for Charles Vallow. There he is, Charles Vallow. So if you're hanging around, maybe have a minute tonight to yourself. Give this guy a thought. He died way too young and unnecessarily. And Lorna McKenzie is saying, presser, please. COE, hop in here. Tell me if you want to take the presser. Do people want the presser?
If you want, I can try to stick around here and pull the presser, and you can hop out and prep for the next show and take a minute to deal.
All right.
Yeah, take a minute to yourself.
Okay, so if you guys want to stick around, I'll let you handle that. And then I'll see you guys on the flip side with Donna Adelson and the latest shenanigans with her defense. Love you, everybody.
Hi, everyone. It's the COE here, just hopping on. We are going to be pulling up the presser. It has not started yet, so we're just going to keep it up and stand by until it begins. We also do have another show coming up that is going to be with Joel, with attorney Tim Jansen, and with Professor Joe Patuto, and they're going to be discussing Adelson. So we're going to have probably both shows live streaming simultaneously, but we'll pop up the presser right now, and those that want to watch it can watch it here. Thanks so much.
Hey, I'm sure that everyone has heard by now that Lori Daybell was convicted
Introduce yourself.
in the first degree conspiracy to commit murder against my brother Charles. And it was a relief, a long journey, and I'm just glad it's over with. I really am. My whole family is, my sisters, and I just want to thank everybody, the Arizona Prosecutor's Office, Trina K, and everyone else that was here and got us through it all. Our court advocates and the whole 9 yards. Today's a good day. We won.
Were you worried, Jerry, that the jury might come back with a not guilty at all, or were you pretty confident?
I had a little concern, but when it came back so quick, I pretty much knew that it was done. Nate. So,
What did you think of her demeanor during trial?
I thought she was
No.
kind of a smarty pants, not real. I don't know what word I'm looking for. I know which one I would use.
You're trying to be nice.
Right. I know which one I would use, but so anyway.
What did you think of her lawyering skills?
I thought she sucked.
You think she did herself any favors by being her own attorney?
Probably not. I'm sure the first day into the trial, she wished she would have had an attorney.
You think?
A real attorney. Right.
Did you look at her when the verdict was read?
I could see the back of her head.
And did you have any reaction? Did she have any reaction?
I couldn't see, but she didn't shake her head or that I saw. So.
Okay, what did you think looking at her?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Come on, Kay, your turn.
I just saw the back of her head too. I couldn't see anything, and she didn't. A lot of times during court, she'd shake her head no when she didn't agree with something being said, or she would just shake her head no, and she didn't shake her head no. So I guess that means she really did do it.
She seemed,
Closer to the case. Oh, okay. Sorry.
she seemed to really have a visceral reaction to you.
That's what I heard.
And when you were on the stand, what was that moment like for you?
I didn't know that she was that shaken by me being there. And then when I got off the stand, I really didn't even know what I said. And then once Jerry and my sister Susan and our friend Laura Ferris and who else was right there? And Kobe was right there. And they were like, "You did so good. She was shaking like a leaf when you," and I was like, "What? No way." And it was, the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, okay. That's all I needed to know. That made my day. That of all the people she should be shaking for, and she was shaking about me, good. Six years of walking the pits of hell every day, and about halfway through, I realized, okay, I'm gonna make it through. But it was a long time.
Elation.
It was a long time before I got to that point. But it's still difficult. But it's okay. I'm ready to move on. It's time. We've got a 10-year-old granddaughter we're raising now, and I've got my hands full, and I'm real happy to be being her grandma. So
After 6 years, does it feel real after 6 long years of walking through hell, as you mentioned?
yes, it feels
Hey everyone, it's the COE here. Just want to let you know that the way TV news runs, whoever is using their cameras, they run on something called a TVU that's based off of cellular data. So when a lot of people are trying to go live or stream something at the same time, it slows down. Joel and I both were broadcasters. I worked for CBS News, Joel worked for Fox News, and this happened all the time in the middle of our live shots where things would just drop out, whether it's the audio, the video, or things would freeze. That's been happening today with the various networks that are there in person. So we apologize again. This is something that is happening on their end, and we're obviously just using whatever pool camera is being given to us. So if it pops up here again, we will put it up. But if not, then we'll just stand by and we'll see what happens. I did want to let you guys know that we are going to have another show. It is also here on STS. Joel is going to be bringing on attorney Tim Jansen and law professor Joe Patuto, and they're going to be discussing the very latest on the Donna Adelson trial and all of the motions filed there. Yeah, just wanted to communicate that with you guys. And again, we are standing by. Should they have anything back up here, we'll pull it up. But it appears that right now, all of the networks there are having major issues. I do want to remind you, if this is your first time here, usually we don't have any kind of tech issues like this, but life happens, as you guys know. Please remember to hit the like button, subscribe, stick around. And we do have a lot of interesting content. So if you are new, definitely check us out. We do live shows Monday through Friday. Thanks so much. We're going to stand by, see if we can get this back up. And yeah, thanks so much. We appreciate you guys. All right, guys. It appears that they cut their cameras. So we're going to end this right now, and we are going to prep and get you guys ready for the Adelson show. We appreciate it, and we are going to end the show right now if we can, Space Coast. Thanks so much, everyone.